In this movie, we'll talk about dangling modifiers, which are a common grammatical mistake. But before we get there, we'll first touch on what a modifier actually is, and we'll have a quick look at misplaced modifiers as well. So in the first sentence, we have two modifiers. We have in the morning, and we have chocolate. In the morning is a prepositional phrase, and chocolate is an adjective. There we go. So a modifier is something that describes another part of the sentence. In this case, in the morning describes when I ate the muffin, and chocolate describes what kind of muffin it is. You can probably recognize that these modifiers can easily be misplaced. So in the second sentence, I ate my chocolate muffin in my underwear, you can hear that that sounds a little bit funny. And the phrase in my underwear is misplaced. It needs to go elsewhere in the sentence. So we'll just move it here all the way to the beginning. And then we can make some adjustments to make it fit a little bit better. So we could say, while in my underwear, or while wearing my underwear, I ate my chocolate muffin. Our last example is of a dangling modifier. And dangling modifiers are very easy to miss, even for experienced writers. So this one reads, having flunked the test, the teacher boosted our marks. Dangling modifiers usually happen at the beginning of the sentence. So having flunked is a past participle. And when we have a participle like this, we assume that there's a subject who's doing the flunking. Now, when you open with a phrase like having flunked the test, we look for that subject to be clarified at the beginning of the main clause. So here we have the teacher, and the implication, in other words, is that the teacher has flunked the test, which probably is not actually the correct answer. It's probably the students who have flunked the test. There are a number of ways to fix this kind of dangling modifier, this opening phrase that's not properly attached. The first way is to simply do something about this opening bit to the sentence. So we could say, when the students flunked the test, the teacher boosted their marks. The second option is to do something about the beginning of the clause. So we could say, having flunked the test, the students had their marks boosted, or something to that effect. The third way to change the sentence is to take this opening part and move it all towards the end. So we could say the teacher boosted our marks when we flunked the test. Notice though that we still have to make a bit of an adjustment here. We cannot simply take the phrase and stick it at the end and expect it to work. Whatever solution you settle on, you really have to make sure that you make some adjustments to make things read smoothly. Now there's one more solution, number 4, which is to rewrite the whole sentence. And a lot of students might not see this as a viable solution, but in many cases it is. Really try to keep rewriting until you're happy with the result.